Namaste. Yes, you are audible.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste. Namaste.
So can we start the meeting, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you, sir. Namaste to all co-explorers. We welcome all of you to the combined volunteer team meeting. The purpose of these meetings, we've been very kind to Ganesh-ji for spending 2 hours with us in helping our self-exploration. So this session is a question and answer session for all the volunteers. So we collect the questions beforehand from the volunteers and we try to understand and help each other by getting the answers from Ganesh-ji. So in between, if you have any questions, we welcome you to share it in the chat so that we can document these questions and try to get the answers in the coming session. So today's questions, we have questions on self, human being, and we have some questions on relationship and some of the questions on existence and others. So can we start with the questions on self or sir, what do you suggest, sir?
What did he say?
So we have questions on self,
Hmm.
we have questions on relationship, and we also have questions on existence and other.
Yeah. So we can start with self.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So today's questions, these are the following questions. The first question is, what is the role of brain in the body? Is it used to perform lower level activities of the self? Do we use brain for thinking? Like we use eyes for seeing, in the proposals we are saying imagination is going on in the self continuously. So what is the role of the brain?
Yeah. So first thing we need to have the clarity of difference between the brain and the mind. Okay. So generally, we think that mind and the brain are the same thing. But in a sense, the brain is part of the body and the mind is part of the self. The decision about what to do through the body is taken by the self, mind being a part of it. So generally this, what we call as imagination, is also called as mind. So this imagination is part of the activity of the self, whereas the brain is part of the body. So all this decision is taken at the level of self, and whatever has to be done through the body, that decision is taken at the level of imagination. That imagination part is generally called as mind. So mind and the brain are two different things. The mind is part of the self, the brain is part of the body. The decision of what to do through the body is taken by the mind or by the imagination part of the self. And when this decision is taken, the necessary instruction is given to the brain, okay, to get it executed through the body. So, for example, if I want to speak some words, okay, now the decision of which word to speak in what language is taken by me, by the self, right? Once I have decided which word to be, spoken, then I give the necessary instruction to the brain, okay, to get this, speaking done by the body. So the brain is a sophisticated part of the body which can receive the instruction from the self. It can expand or amplify this instruction and send it to different parts of the body which are supposed to be involved in the process of executing this speaking. So the brain will amplify and give necessary, instructions to the throat and the vocal cord and all that. So the role of the brain is to receive the sensation from the mind or from the imagination of the self and expand it, enlarge it, amplify it, and pass it to different parts of the body which are supposed to be involved in the process of speaking. So that is the difference between the brain and the self. Can we get back to that question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it says, what is the role of brain in the body that I have explained? Is it used to perform lower level activities of the self? It is used to execute the instruction received from the self through the body. So it will execute the instruction of the self and give by giving necessary, kind of instructions to the body. So it is performing not the lower activities of the self, but it is trying to execute the instruction received from the self. Do we use brain for thinking? No. The thinking is done by the self. The decision is taken by the self and necessary instruction given to the brain. And the role of the brain is to execute that instruction. Like we use eyes for seeing. Yes, you use the eyes for seeing, but eye is not taking the decision to see. So some image is formed at the level of eye and which is also formed at the level of brain ultimately. And it is the self who decides to read that that image or not to read that image. So even if there is a picture formed at the level of eyes, it is not necessary that the self will read that picture. That depends upon the decision of the self. Like we use this thing. In the proposals, we are saying imagination is going on in the self continuously. So what is the role of the brain? Yeah, I have explained that. So from my side, I think I have explained the, the first question about the brain, the mind, the self, the difference between the two and the relations between them. But if there is any more clarification required, I will do that.
Ji, sir. Talluru Didi has not joined. I'm not able to see her. Didi, if you are there, you can raise your hand. Didi is yet to join, sir.
Okay.
Can you go to the next question, sir?
Yeah.
Jagdish Babuji is asking about role about memory. So that's in the chat. He's asking something about memory.
Uh, Ji sir, Jagdish Bhaiya is asking if you can throw some light on memory.
Yeah, if you look at the memory, this memory is part of the self, right? The self will remember whatever it has noticed or thought over in the past. So and there if you see, it remembers things which it considers important. And there again, they broadly you can see that it divides into two parts. One part is what it considers is important immediately, so that it keeps into the front memory. And what it considers not so important, you know, it pushes back. So it is not that it is not there in the memory, it is there in the memory, but as and when considered important, it can be brought in the front. So this simple example that when you go to a place, visit a place and you come back and somebody asks you, what did you see? Right? You give him some descriptions. Okay. Descriptions which you think you remember. But next time when you go there, you can very easily verify whether, some of the things which are there, whether you saw it last time or you didn't see it last time. Okay. So those things are there in your memory, but not in the front memory. So if somebody asks you, what did you see? You will not give those descriptions. But when you go there next time, you can always recall them. Right?
Sir, can I ask one question related to this, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, like you gave an example of memory that we go to a place, so we have that, we have seen through the eyes and we have it in our memory. So, sir, our acceptances are also there in the memory, or what is it, sir? Can I get some clarity on that?
Acceptance means what we are calling as sanskar.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. In fact, see, these are two different types of things. One is about the incidents, right? The incidents which took place or things which I saw around. So one is the memory about these descriptions, right? These incidents which took place.
Yes, sir.
The second thing is this memory about the basic underlying existential laws like harmony, relationship, coexistence, right? Now, these are the basic existential laws which are there. And once we understand these laws, then this understanding remains. Okay. And they are unchanging. So if you ask me whether this is also a memory or not, in a way, yes, it is a memory. But the difference between the other type of memory, which is basically the memory relating to the incidences, this is something which once you have seen this reality, you continue to, have the understanding of that reality. Okay. So it is not just memory of that kind. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But yes, you can call it, uh, another type of memory, something which you always remember or always you have with that understanding you have with you all the time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so when you understand something, you don't have to recall it, isn't it? It is just there.
Yes.
Regarding the incidents, you have to recall.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that is the difference between two types of memory.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We can ask. It was the question regarding memory was by Jagdish Bhaiya. Jagdish Bhaiya, if you want some more anything you want to discuss with sir.
No, it was clear. Thank you, Ganesh, sir. I was having this somewhere. Someone is asking that memory is in brain. It is clear now. I have clarity, but it is more clear now. And
Yeah.
yes,
Let me also add that when it relates to some drawing some pictures, right? Or recalling some pictures which I had seen at some point of time. Okay. Then you may have to use your brain. Okay. So that use of the brain to redraw that picture, which you have seen in the past, or some kind of arrangement that you saw in the past. For that, you may need to use your brain for redrawing that picture. So when somebody has some problem in the brain, okay, and he's trying to recall some incidents or some place, okay, he finds it difficult to redraw those pictures, okay, of that particular arrangement. So there this role of brain comes in. But for most of the cases, you can see that this memory is part of the self.
also when we have to redraw the picture, that instruction is given to the
Self.
brain by the cell phone, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And many times when you are not able to redraw that picture because your brain is not, cooperating, or is not, is having some problem, at a point of time you decide that, okay, we can do without it. I know what it was. Okay. So you find out alternative ways of explaining. Yeah.
What about subconscious memory? So,
Subconscious memory only means that there is a memory which I am not aware of it. So I can be aware of it.
mm,
I can be aware of it. If I pay attention, if I decide to be aware of it, I can become aware of it. Isn't it?
yes. And by the age, this there is problem in the brain, so we don't remember many things.
We don't remember many of the details, but we remember the essence of it.
That essence is in self.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ji, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there are some questions related to memory in the chat. Can I read the question, sir, or can we go to the next question on the slide?
Yeah, you can read them.
Yes, sir. So the questions are, is understanding also a memory? Is one question by Ganesh-ji. Then we have a question by Girish-ji. So how does music and smell get stored in the cell?
Yeah. So regarding the first question, I have already answered that understanding, once you have an understanding of something, it stays with the self, right? So you don't have to really remember it again and again. But if it is there all the time, if you want to call that as memory, yes, understanding is there in the memory. But it is of a different kind. You don't have to recall it. It is just there. Right? Once you understand that you are not just the body, but coexistence of the self and body, then you don't have to remember it every time, or recall it every time. It is just there. It is
Yes.
just there.
Yes, sir. So there's one question on how does music and smell get stored in the cell? Then we have one more question by Priya ji. How we can explain the Alzheimer's disease? It is the damage in the brain. Some people lose the memory after an accident.
Yeah. This regarding this, memory of the smell and this, things. Uh, I mean, there are a lot of details which we'll have to get into, but I don't want to get into that. But I can only say that it is part of, I mean, traditionally, if you look at it, it is said to be part of the Indriya. And this Indriya are the integral part of the self. So if you are interested, you can read through this, there is one, there are two treatise by Sankaracharya. One is called Tattva Bodh, another is called Atma Bodh. So they describes, they describe about how this Indriya are the integral part of the self. And the memory of these sense perceptions, they are, there as part of this Indriya, which is an integral part of the self. And then these Indriyas are made of the Panchatana Matras. So a lot of those details are there, which I don't want to get into, here. But if you are interested, you can read through some of these treatises. One is Tattva Bodh and the other is Atma Bodh. So they describe about how these Indriya, which are integral part of the self, interact with the body.
Ji, sir. Ji, sir.
Yeah. So for Girish-ji, I will recommend this, that they can go and, I mean, he can go and refer to this too, Atma Bodh and Tattva Bodh.
Ji, sir. Sir, there is a question on, by Priya ji. How can you explain the Alzheimer's disease? It is a damage in the brain. Some people lose the memory after an accident. And also one more question.
Alzheimer is, out of this old age, not necessarily meeting an accident. So out of the old age, when your brain is, slowly becoming less active, then for those incidences where you have to construct the image, okay, there this becomes difficult. But the interesting thing is that the self remembers those things which it considers is important. It does not remember things which it considers, it does not consider important. So that difference you can see even in these old people. It's not that they don't remember anything. Okay, they can't recall anything. they are able to remember things which they consider is important and not able to recall things which they don't consider to be important. So this is a combined effect of the self and of the brain. The self is not interested much to recall it. Number one. Number two, it has to reconstruct some images using the brain, and if the brain is not functioning properly, then that reconstruction also becomes difficult. So if you look at these old people, they want that everything should be set in place. The changes should not be made. Okay. Even while spreading the bed sheet, they want it to be done in a very, precise manner, in the same place which they are used to, and not changing this, now and then. That is because they don't want to redraw that picture, redraw that arrangement, where they have to make use of the brain. So this is interesting, this self and the brain part. A lot of work I think is to be done, in this interaction. Most of the kind of positions which are taken today in this science is going by the assumption that there is no self, and all the activity is done by the brain. So the decision taking is also done by the brain, which is not true. So once you have this clarity that human being is not just the body, but this coexistence of self and the body, and once you understand this self and then its interaction with the body through the brain, then I think a lot of work has to be done. Lot of work has to be done between this, about this interaction between the self and the body, particularly the brain. So I personally would recommend that some of us should take it seriously and try to work out the details. Lot of possibilities are there, because once you see that self and body are two different existential reality in coexistence, okay, and we human beings are there as the coexistence of the two, then trying to understand this interaction and what part of it is taking place in the self and what part of it is taking place in the body, and particularly the brain, and how these interactions are going on, that I think a lot of work has to be done. So I can just share some of my understanding about it, but I will certainly recommend that some of us should make up mind and work on it.
Ji, sir, we will keep this in mind, and we will see if there's some of us willing to take up this study and really work on it. We will surely try to encourage and get connected, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Can we go to the next question?
Yes, sir. There is a hand raise, but I'm not able to see the hand raise, sir. I think it is Harish Ji. And,
Hello. Yeah, good afternoon.
yes, Namaste, sir.
Namaste, namaste. Basically, I was just listening to Ganesh sir, so by mistake I raised my hand. So you please continue and unmute me. I'm listening, sir.
Yes, he was marking his presence.
Sir, you are just, Antaryami. There was a party at my home, so I just, came to know there is a meeting at 3. So I left everybody. They are all enjoying the lunch. So I came 15 minutes late, but love to listen you today. Please continue.
Yes, you are welcome.
So nice of
Welcome,
you.
sir.
We were just talking about you 15 minutes back.
Okay. So can I
Yeah.
add something if you allow me to speak? But I will speak in different way as I know about the brain. If you
Yes.
allow me to poke my nose in this conversation.
Yeah, you can always poke your nose, but then you have to work on it
Of course.
with this new input.
All right, all right. So
Yeah.
as I have studied, and people they study science, they know the brain has five lobes. We call it prefrontal cortex, temporal, parietal, occipital, and cerebellum also. So in our science, we speak that prefrontal cortex is the chief executive officer of whole body. So it works like a owner of a company. So the responsibility of prefrontal cortex is to focus, see the forthcoming things, impulses control. When you talk about the temporal lobe, it is responsible for memory, learning, mood stability, visuals, auditory processing. And when you talk about the parietal lobe, this is responsible for your whole body, sensory processing, and sense of direction. When you go inside the brain, so there are other things. The most important thing is deep limbic system. So one more organ is there. We call it basal ganglia. So, sir, whatever I studied in my life about the brain, so deep limbic system is very much responsible for few things because there are five small organs. When we club them, then we call it ALS, limbic system. So one is thalamus, amygdala, hippocampus, hypothalamus, and olfactory also. So these organ works in a very different way, and when we club them, so we call it a deep limbic system. So what happens in that में जो होता है, so whatever you're talking, so my thoughts are a bit different. So what I was thinking, you let me again, study all sorts of things. We'll discuss to
Yes.
you and
Yes.
understand means how this UHV and Madhyas Darshan is different from the study which science speaks. The small things just I wanted to conclude. So you give me time, allow me time so that I can again go back to the drawing board
Yes.
and would
Yes.
study. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So my only kind of input would be that in this modeling that you described,
Yeah.
where is there any role of the self?
So then
That
again, my question is, sir, what is the role of brain? If brain is not doing anything, so what brain is doing?
that I have explained already.
When I was late, okay, sir.
Yeah. But good, we have to work on it.
Definitely,
That
sir.
given this self and the body, the coexistence of the two, now we'll have to see what is the role of the self and what is the role of the brain, right?
Done, sir. Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
That is what I was telling, that some of us have to take the responsibility of working out the details of how this the self and the body, the coexistence of the two works,
Sure.
and particularly how the brain plays the role of coordinating with the body, of the instruction that is received from the self. So all those details we'll have to work it out. Yes.
Like neurologist says that deep limbic system is responsible for few things, like it sets the emotional tone of the mind. It filters external events through internal states, and like it gives the emotional coloring to the mind. It tags event internally which are most important. It stores high charged emotions into the memory. It controls appetite, sleep cycle. It promotes bonding also and directly process the sense of smell. These are the few things neurologists talk about the limbic system. And all these things are inside the brain, the part of hardware. So if self is doing all things, so what these organs are doing?
Yeah,
That is
that you have to now work out.
what I have to work out. Sure,
Yeah.
sir.
If the self is there and taking the decision, then the brain will get unemployed.
Sir, all psychologists, they will have the biggest problem. So खाने को नहीं मिलेगा if we prove this that self is
No, 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 no. The psychologists will have more important things to do.
definitely, sir. I'll do that.
Yes,
Okay, please continue the session, sir. It's very important
yes,
for
yes,
listeners.
yes.
Thank you, sir, for drawing all of our attention to the two existing realities, that is the self and body, and they are coexisting. And it would be very nice if a few of us, start working on this to understand, like you mentioned. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes,
So, can we go to the next question, sir?
yes, yes.
I can see that after being into the content, I am being aware of my thoughts and also able to see the uncomfortableness that is there in me. And I am in the process of transformation, and it will happen at its own pace. But at times, I feel like this is being hectic. I know the process will take its time, and till then, should I undergo such kind of situation? That is the turmoil that is going on within me. The question is by Sri Darshini Didi.
Yeah. So one simple answer is yes. You have to go through the turmoil. Okay. But the other part of the answer is that this turmoil is taking place because you are reacting to the situation. You are not being the observer. So that is the problem. You are not being the observer at that point of time, and you are reacting to the situation. So you already have a preconditioning that things should happen at certain pace. And if it is not happening at that pace, then you are reacting to it. Okay. If you are there at the level of pure observer, then you will be able to see that things take time, because I have my own set of preconditionings, okay, which are not in line with this relationship, harmony, and coexistence. And therefore, because of my sanskar, I am getting into some feeling which is not naturally acceptable to me, and therefore it is leading to unhappiness. Right? So those sanskars are there, those preconditionings, those presumptions, those acceptances are there, and unless I am able to see those preconditionings and you know evaluate them and set them in order, they are there and they will play their role. Okay. And therefore, this reaction which is coming, or this feeling of that it is hectic, and it should not take so much of time. This is out of my own preconditioning, right? My own sanskar. So if I'm there at the level of pure observer, I can see all this and not react to it. But I am going away from this pure observer. Okay? I am in a way, not aware of myself. And therefore, the sanskar, the preconditioning is taking over, and on the basis of this preconditioning, I am reacting to the situation. And that is creating the turmoil. Right? So what is the solution? The solution is to always take this decision that I have to be aware of myself. I have to be at the level of pure observer. And from there I have to observe myself, my imagination, my feeling, my sanskar, right? And evaluate those feelings and those sanskar. If I do that from the place of pure observer, then there will be no reaction. Right? Then you don't feel that it is hectic. You will see that yes, it is taking time and it will take time, because of lot of this accumulation of my sanskar. So you can see those sanskar, you can see the reactions that is coming out of that sanskar, and you don't react to that reaction. You can be an observer of it. And if you are an observer and you are evaluating that incidence, then you are evaluating your sanskar, then slowly your sanskar will start getting purified. So it will take time, it is taking time, but that necessarily, does not lead to this state of, turmoil. What leads to this state of turmoil is my reaction to whatever is happening, in me. And that reaction is coming because of my not being at the level of pure observer. So the solution is that I be at the level of pure observer at this moment of time, the next moment of time, and every moment of time. The process will take time to purify all these sanskar. But then you will not feel that reaction. You will not feel turmoil within. So it can be a process, very smooth. Of course, it will take time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because you have accumulated so much of it, in so many association with the body. Even in this association with the body, some 40 years, 50 years we have spent accumulating a lot of them without awareness. So now that you have started becoming aware, the process will be now, a kind of the self-purification. But it will certainly take time to clear off all these sanskar which we have accumulated. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So can we go to the next question, sir?
Yeah, Sri Darshini ji is there. Is it
Yes, sir.
okay
Yes,
for
sir.
you?
Yeah.
Namaste,
Yes.
Bhaiya.
Namaste.
Namaste. Is it?
Yeah. Yes, Bhaiya, I can get it up. So what I can understand is being in the state of pure observer is the solution, as you said, but being at the state of pure observer for every moment is itself a process, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. And I have to at least take the decision that I will be, at the level of pure observer every moment. I may miss, get into the sanskar and react and all that will happen, right?
Mm.
But then I come back to the pure observer.
Okay.
Yes.
So that will be the first step that I have to follow. But in between, if I'm going to miss out to be a pure observer, then I have to undergo all those things.
Yes.
Okay, Bhaiya.
So the solution to this is that come back to your pure observer.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Bhaiya. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So can you go to the next question, sir?
Yes.
What should be the time limit for the self-exploration? How to know that the self-exploration and relationships in the family part is done and now it is time to act for society and nature? Are there any measures for it? If I'm taking more time for the self-exploration, then am I selfish? The question was asked by Vithalanji.
Vithalani. Yeah. C.H. Vithalani. Yeah. So first part of is what should be the time limit for the self-exploration? The time limit is that you will continue to explore yourself till you reach to the state of, complete fulfillment. Right? That is the time limit. So you want to be fully, satisfied. So till you reach to that state of fulfillment, complete fulfillment, we'll continue to explore, isn't it? So that is one part. And how much time it will take, it depends upon my sanskar, it depends upon my intensity with which I'm working on this process of self-exploration. So these two things are important. Number one, how much I have accumulated as sanskar in the past. Okay. And number two, how intensely I am working for this self-exploration. That will decide on the time. The second part is how to know that the self-exploration and relationship in the family part is done and now it is time to act for society and nature. See, what we have been saying is that when you start the process of self-exploration and you start understanding yourself, okay, and your relationship with other, units in the existence, and particularly human being, then the changes in your interaction with the world around start taking place, right? So when you are interacting with other human being in the family, it will be different now. When you are interacting with the people in the society, it will become different once you are doing this self-exploration and you are trying to understand yourself, your body, your relationship. Then already the changes will start taking place in the family, in your workplace, in the society, with rest of nature. So there is no kind of, time-bound process which you will first do with the family and then go for the society and nature. I mean, this you must have been realizing that through this self-exploration, if you are able to understand yourself, if you are able to understand that relationship, harmony, and coexistence is what is naturally acceptable to you, and if that becomes your feeling, then your imagination goes by this relationship, harmony, and coexistence. And therefore, your behavior with the people around changes. It changes in the family, it changes in your workplace, it changes even in the marketplace, isn't it? What do you think? Vishlani ji, you are there?
Sir, I'm not able to find them.
Yeah, so that, that change will start taking place at every level, in your interaction with the other human being. Similarly, in your interaction with the rest of nature, right? If you are able to see the relationship, then you are more responsible to the use of physical facility in your own house, right? And even in your workplace, even in your road, you are walking, you are more careful. So all that will slowly expand. So it's not that we do it in the family first and then expand. It will start expanding. Of course, major part of it will take place in the family because we are spending major time in the family and in the workplace. But then it will slowly, percolate in the society and nature whenever we are interacting with the other people in the society or interacting with the nature. If the last question is, last part is, if I am taking more time for the self-exploration, then am I selfish? See, this selfish is a, mis kind of interpreted word. Okay. I mean, I for one would say that if I understand myself and if I ensure this, continuity of happiness within me, within the self, then I am selfish in the real sense. And if I do this, then I will feel that relationship with everyone. And therefore, I will relate to everyone, right? Everyone in the family, in the society, right? In the nature. So if I really become selfish, I'll take care of everyone else. The problem today is that we are not selfish. We don't understand the self. We are not doing what has to be done for the self. So we are not able to see that the self ultimately, has a natural acceptance for relationship, harmony, and coexistence. And we are not able to ensure this feeling of relationship, harmony, and coexistence. And therefore, we are not in a state of harmony and happiness within. And because we are not in a state of harmony and happiness within, and because we do not have that feeling of relationship, we are not able to relate to the other also. So if you do this self-exploration, you understand yourself, you understand your natural feelings, you are with those feelings, and therefore you are in a state of harmony and happiness, then you will relate to everyone else, the other human being as well as the rest of nature. So you don't worry about this, being selfish. Okay. You have to be selfish, which you are not. Or you are selfish in the wrong sense, because you think that you will get happiness with a lot of physical facility. Therefore, you are accumulating a lot of physical facility and you are thinking that you are selfish. But you are not even selfish, because with all that accumulation of physical facility, is it ensuring continuity of happiness in the self? The answer is no, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, we have a hand raised by Tara here.
Yeah.
Namaste, sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Yes. Sir, I had a question. When we discuss about this self-exploration and the extent of this exploration, like when we try to observe the body, then we can observe it because it's a grosser level reality. And when we come to the observation of self, it's more subtler than body. So when we observe, we are able to observe self. And when it comes to space, space is the subtlest reality what we discuss. So is it possible by the self to realize or to explore the space, being the subtler reality than subtlest reality? I think I put my question clearly, sir.
Yeah, in fact, this space, you cannot say that it is subtlest, because the space is not an activity. Right? This subtle and gross is defined in relation to activities. Right? So there are subtle activities and there are gross activities. Right? So when you say subtlest, it means the subtlemost activity. But the space is no activity. So you have to coin some new word. So the
Yes,
broad
sir.
categories, there is activity and there is no activity. In the activity, there are further categories. There are subtle activities and the gross activities. Right? And in that subtle activity, if you go to the subtle this thing, then you have the subtlemost activity. So it is like that. But the question that whether the self can explore into the space.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is being said is that the self at the level of pure observer has three capacity. One is the self, this pure observer can look, into the lower activities of the self and also evaluate them. This pure observer can see itself, and the pure observer can also see the space, which is no activity. So at the level of pure observer, this potential is always there to see the activity, the lower activities of the self, to see the observer itself, and to see the space. So this pure observer can see the space, realize the space, and it can also realize the coexistence of this pure observer in space. So that possibility is there. Ultimately, that is where we have to work, to understand this coexistence.
Ji,
Yeah,
ji,
there.
And sir, the process is always same, this self-exploration only, or we need
The
to
process is
expand?
that I have to work to be at the level of pure observer. I have to be centered at the level of pure observer. So when I am there at the level of pure observer, what we are doing, in exercise 1, for example, is that we are observing the lower activities of the self, right, from the pure observer. So by being aware, we are there as the pure observer. We are centered at the pure observer. From there, we are looking down on the imagination part of the self, right? The desire, the thought, the expectation, particularly the desire, the feeling. Okay. So the major part of exercise 1 is focusing on being at the level of pure observer, and from there observing the lower activities of the self. But while doing that, if any time you start paying attention to the observer itself, you will be able to see the observer. The third
Yes,
part is that
yes.
we can look back, reflect back from this place of pure observer and try to pay attention to the space, to the all pervading. So that we intend to do, in practice 3, exercise 3, which we have not started as yet. We have done some base work, but we have not kind of started sharing. But that has to be done, yes. And it can be done.
Jay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Jay, it was a long time, question roaming around for quite long time, but it got clarified, sir. Thank you. Namaste, sir. Namaste.
Yeah, and we have to work on it, It's good that this is becoming a concern for us. So slowly, many of us would have that interest to try observing this space by this, pure observers. Yeah.
Ji, sir. So we have some hand raised. Do we ask them to speak, or can we go to the next question, sir?
Yeah, I thought that it would be better if we can compile the questions, put them together and then take it. There are already so many pending questions, so we take them first. Then if there is time, we can come back to these
Ji, sir.
questions through the chat box.
Ji, sir. Ji, sir. So can we go to the next question, sir?
Yeah.
Is there any criteria of self to choose the particular body while taking birth? Where was the self before associating with the body? When will be the self entering in the mother's womb? The question is asked by Chandrasekhar Bhogale.
Yeah, so many open questions. Okay, what I would suggest is that let us start studying what we are doing, with the body now, what the self is doing with the body now, right? Is it that the self is interacting with the body every moment? Or is it interacting with the body by choice? What do you think, Chandrasekhar ji?
Namaste, bhai, namaste. It is yeah, by
Yeah.
choice we got it, by the choice of the
Yes.
self.
Yes. So this is important,
Yeah.
If now we can observe that I as the self, most of the time I am busy with myself and I'm not even paying attention to the body. And as and when I find it important, I pay attention to the body. I read some sensation from the body or I give some instruction to the body. And this percentage of time when I interact with the body will be hardly 1%.
Ji.
So if I can see this, I can see that, even now when I'm associated with the body, I'm not interacting with the body all the time. I'm interacting with the body once in a while, as and when required, and for the period for which it is required.
जी.
Is that clear?
Yes, Bhaiya, clear.
Yeah. So this has to be understood properly, and it has to be, intensified. Then
जी.
you can see that even now we are interacting with the body by choice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And when we find it not important, we don't interact.
Yes.
So associating with the body and dissociating with the body is taking place even now.
Oh.
And that is by choice.
But this is under my notice, so yeah.
Yeah. So this has come under your notice now, right?
Yes,
When you
yes,
have
Bhaiya.
started the process of self-exploration.
Yeah, yeah, certainly.
Continue with this process of self-exploration. Then at the time of parting away from your body for this association of the body, you will
Yes.
realize that you are dissociating with the body by choice.
Yes.
And if you continue to be aware, and next time when you are associating with the body, you will also be able to see that you are associating with the body by choice. Isn't it?
I didn't get Bhaiya. I didn't get.
Huh?
I didn't get Bhaiya this sentence.
No, I'm saying that can you see now that you are associating with the body or interacting with the body or not interacting with the body by choice?
Yes, I'm able to see.
You can see that? Right.
Yes, yes,
When you
Bhaiya.
are interacting with the body, it is equivalent to associating with the body.
Yes.
And when you are not interacting with the body, it is equivalent to dissociating with the
Oh,
body.
dissociation.
Isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, this is a general extrapolation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so,
One more point to explore, Bhaiya. This sentence made me to explore again.
and we are
Yes.
interacting by choice and not interacting by choice.
Yes.
Even now, hardly 1% of the time we are interacting with the body. Remaining
Yeah,
99%, I am busy with myself.
self.
And it does not matter whether the body is there or not there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you decide to interact with the body, it is like taking a birth. When you decide to, not interact with the body, it's like dissociating with the body, or equivalent to death. So 100 times you are taking birth and, and leaving that body. Okay.
Yes.
And it is by choice. And sometimes you find that this is not worth, associating with this body because it is making my life hell. So you decide to part away from the body, isn't it?
Yes.
You decide to kill the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
जी भैया.
Yeah. So with this awareness, you can ask this question to yourself. Yeah. Where was the self before associating with the body? In existence, in space.
In space. In space. Before
Even
also
now
and after also it is in space.
and now also it is in space. So,
जी. Interesting way.
So the self is
How-
in space, the body is in space, and through space I am interacting with the body by choice. Isn't it?
Yes, because body is also in space and self is also in space. That's why self now also it is in space. Bhaiya.
Yes.
Yes.
So it was in space before the association with the body. It will be in
Yeah.
space after the association with the body.
Yes.
And the self is in space even when it is associated with the body.
Body.
Yes. All these things, we have to directly observe and see for ourselves.
Hmm. Yes. Bhaiya.
Yes.
Bhaiya, whether body is requesting to, matlab, or self is inviting body or body is inviting self, bhaiya, or both have capability to invite each other.
See, what we did it in exercise 2
Yes.
is that only interaction that is taking place between the self and the body is that some instruction is going from the self to the body. And some
Yes.
sensation is being read, from the
From the
body to
body.
the self. Right?
Ji. Ji.
So only the transaction of information is taking place. Okay.
Ji. Ji.
And in both this transaction, the decision is taken by the self. So if I am giving some instruction to the body, it is me who is deciding, what instruction to give. Right?
Ji.
Similarly, when I am reading some sensation from the body, I am deciding which sensation to read because there are so many sensations taking place in the body. And I don't read all of them.
Ji.
I only read those sensations
Is
which I
important.
consider is important.
Yes. Priority wise.
Right?
Yes, bhaiya.
Yeah. So that is interesting that I decide.
Yeah.
I decide whether to read the sensation or not to read the sensation.
Ji.
So all this we have not noticed, but now if we notice, you can see.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So can we go to the next question?
Yes.
Yes, bhaiya. Thank you, bhaiya.
Thank you, Chandrasekhar ji.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, where are you from, Chandrasekhar ji?
Bhaiya, I'm Gulbarga. We met and had dinner with you.
Oh,
Gulbarga.
yes.
Pide college
Yes.
engineering. Amrish Patil ji and Soumya Didi was there.
Yes,
Were
yes,
there.
yes. I remember.
Yeah. Basa Patil said invitation. On that day also we met.
Yes, I remember. I
Yeah.
remember I have met Sri Darshini ji in
Yes.
Chennai because to her residence, it is very near to the airport.
Okay.
Yeah. But Bitlani ji, I don't remember to have met. Bitlani ji and Sunita ji. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, bhaiya. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we can go to the next question then.
Yes, sir. The next question is, every self has the natural acceptance. The concern is awareness or no awareness.
Yes.
Until I go to the state of being aware at all moments, is it wrong to have expectations from myself and other selves? When I have expectations, am I at the lower activity of the self?
See, it is not wrong to have the expectation. Okay, we all will have right expectation from each other. But if I think that I will get happiness if my expectation is fulfilled, and if that is the source of my happiness, then there is problem. Can you get it?
Yes, sir.
That when I think that by fulfilling my expectation from outside, I will get happiness, then this cannot be the source of continuous happiness. And if I am expecting this from outside, okay, to get my happiness, then I am certainly at the lower activity of the self. But on the other hand, I may have the right feeling in me, okay, the feeling of relationship, harmony, and coexistence. And I can be in a state of harmony and happiness, therefore. With that state of harmony and happiness within, because I have the feeling of relationship in me, right? I will try to fulfill my relationship with others. And when I am fulfilling my relationship with other human being, there will be expectation, right? I will expect that the other person, receives this, okay? The other person works on it. The other person responds properly. All that expectations are there. But if I think that that fulfillment of expectation is what is going to lead to my happiness, then I'm in trouble. Because if the other person is not up to that expectation, that become a source of unhappiness for me. So my happiness is now dependent on the other person, response or reaction. So the expectations will be there, the right expectations will always be there, but then that is not the source of my happiness. The fulfillment of that expectation cannot be the source of my happiness, because if I make that as the source of happiness for me, then I cannot have the continuity of happiness. That is the problem. But with right understanding, with right feeling, I can be in a state of harmony and happiness within. And with that harmony and happiness within, and with that acceptance of relationship, harmony, and coexistence, I will always think in terms of how to fulfill relationship with one, with many, and with everyone. And therefore, in the process, I will certainly have expectation from the other. But my happiness is not dependent on that fulfillment of the expectation. I am in a state of harmony and happiness. And with that state, I am now interacting with the other, trying to fulfill my relationship with the other. So this expectation is for giving, not for, begging to get happiness from it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes. I got know where I'm going wrong, and I will work on it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, many times we, take this position that we should have no expectation. We should have the right expectation. But that fulfillment of expectation should not be the only source of happiness for me. My source of happiness would be my understanding, my right feeling in me. And that only can become the source of continuous happiness, not this fulfillment of expectation from outside.
Ji, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So can we go to the next question?
Yes.
So now we have questions on relationship.
Yes.
do I always want to in feeling of relationship? Does it mean that always accept the opposite person's opinion or action, even if it is not naturally acceptable to me? If I question their actions, definitely there is a feeling of opposition. Being continuously happy, does it mean always to accept the other's actions?
Chaitanya.
Chaitra ji from Mysore, JSS.
Yes. Chitraji. Chaitraji. Yeah.
Chaitra, Chaitra ji.
Yeah. So the first line says, the first part of the question says, do I always want to be in a feeling of relationship? Does mean that always accept the opposite person's opinion or action, even if it is not naturally acceptable to me. See, the main question is that whether you accept the other person or not as your relative. So there are two things, accepting the person, accepting the opinion and the action. So the simple answer is that I always have the feeling of relationship for the other human being. And therefore I accept that person. Okay. But that does not necessarily mean that I accept his opinion, I accept his action, even if it is wrong. That is not what we are saying, isn't it? We are saying that X, Y, Z, be it any person, what is natural to me to have a feeling of relationship or feeling of opposition? The answer is feeling of relationship. So therefore, I am always having a feeling of relationship for everyone. And that is what makes me, in a state of harmony and happiness. So I'm ensuring my happiness. Now with that feeling of relationship, when I'm interacting with the other person, okay, who has an opinion which is not, in line with the natural acceptance, I'm not going to accept that opinion or the action, but I'm always going to accept that person. The problem is that instead of, not accepting the opinion or the action, you start rejecting the person. That is the problem. Can you see that? That on the basis of the opinion, you reject the person. What we are saying is accept the person, even if his opinion is not right, even if his action is not right. So I feel related to the other person. I feel responsible to him. And if I see that his opinion or his action is not right, I will work with him to improve upon it rather than reject the person. Can you see this, Chaitraji? I remember when we started this workshop, this course in UP Technical University, and at that time there were 550 colleges. Then the university had sent instruction to the colleges that every college has to send at least 2 faculty for this faculty development program on universal human values. In the very first workshop, there were around 55 faculty members. And most of them started saying that we already have enough load, we are overloaded. Why do you want to increase the load? So we don't want this additional course. This was one response. The other response was that if we go to teach moral value, the human values, then the students will tell us that, and most of these colleges are private colleges. So the students will tell, that you go and teach this human values to the owner of the college because they are sucking our blood. So this is what went on for 4 days. Okay. So their opinion, their action was all contrary. But from our side, we kept on placing the right proposal with a feeling of relationship. And they kept on asking this similar kind of questions. But by the 4th day, this was an 8-day workshop. By the 4th day, some of them started saying, that, even if we don't teach it in the institute, the content seems to be useful, okay, for ourselves and for our family. Okay. This content seems to be useful for us as individual and for our family. So these 4 days, there was an environment of opposition. But then it does not mean that they don't have that natural acceptance, for something which is right. So they had that background. With that, they had this feeling of opposition. They had those, opinions which were contrary. But at the same time, they were listening, listening to the content. They were responding to our behavior, with them. And by 5th day, some of them started paying attention and they started listening, sincerely. Then many of them, and by the 8th day, most of them said that, it is making sense and we'll go and practice, for ourselves and for our family and see if we can teach it in this college. And that's how it started in 2009. Now it is 2025. And thousands of colleges are, teaching this course. Something like 1 lakh teachers have been oriented. Something like 10 lakh students are going through the course. So they may have this, seemingly this opinion which is opposite, but ultimately they are all human beings, right? Yes, Vinod Kumar Gupta ji is saying that I was in the second batch of this 2009. Yes, there was one in May and there was one in July. Yeah. And there is this thing that the second part of the question says, if I question their action, definitely there is a feeling of opposition. Being continuously happy does mean always accept the other action. Now, the question is that if I am not hurt, if I do not have the feeling of opposition, I have the feeling of relationship, I am in a state of harmony and happiness within. Now, how do I respond? Okay. Do I go by it, his action and opinion, or I tell the other that this opinion or this action is not right? Right. Now, that's a question, you have to decide, how do you go about it? So if you have a feeling of relationship that you are able to ensure, then you will decide how to go about it. So I personally would not prescribe any specific kind of response, but that you have to work out. Okay. Like if you take this example I was describing of this, workshop being conducted. Now, out of these 55 people, most of them were saying that, this is adding to the, burden. And how can we teach it to the students when the owner of the college is exploiting them? But we did not argue on that, right? We did not reject their opinion. Okay. We said, fine, let's look into it, what are the other possibilities that we can do? Okay. And let us do this exploration within, and then we will see, what to do. But we did not react. Okay. We did not reject also. Okay. But we, from our side, had this right feeling and right behavior. And it took 4 days, for them to slowly, see through what we are trying to say, and get into that process of self-exploration. So if we are not going by their action or by opinion, okay, there may be a feeling of opposition from their side. But what is the condition? Is it creating a feeling of opposition from your side or not? That you have to ask. And if we ask for our recommendation would be that even if there is a feeling of opposition from the other side, from our side, okay, we should not have any feeling of opposition, because that feeling of opposition is not something which is naturally acceptable to us, because that is going to make us unhappy. So this we have to ensure that from our side, there is a feeling of relationship every moment in our interaction. And from our side, we are, going with the right behavior. There may be opposition from the other side. There may be reaction from the other side. But that does not become the cause of my unhappiness or cause of my, reaction to the other.
Yes, sir. I think what you said, yes, it's like I think we end up having the opposition when we are expecting from them. And when they are in opposition, again, we start trying to reacting to them. And this is happening from both the sides. And that's why, we get confused again.
Yes, we come on the same platform of opposition.
Yes, sir.
That creates the problem.
Sir, but I like, it depends on our sanskar and the time we take and also our awareness. So it again depends on us. So is that right to say that
Yes.
it is I who decide everything?
Very true. It takes time for you to work through, because your sanskar, you immediately, get reactive, You say enough is enough. Okay. So that's the problem. But if we are in the mode of self-exploration with, state of self-awareness, then slowly we can improve. Slowly we can improve. And that's the whole idea. So every time we are saying, you have to be aware every moment. Okay. And every moment from the pure observer, you have to observe your imagination, your desire, thought and expectation, and then you have to observe your sanskar. All that we are doing only to ensure this, that from our side we don't get into reaction, into opposition.
Yes, sir. So, but now that we are, exposed to this content, and still there are so many moments of unawareness. So there must be
Yes.
a lot of sanskars accumulated in just one birth, right?
True. True, very much. Lot of it accumulated, and lot of it and lot of layers also, So there are layers after layers. So when you are working at this, one layer, and you are getting relief of some of the sanskar, you feel that okay, a lot of achievement. But then the second level may start, opening up. And then you will have new set of sanskars. Then you wonder what happened, everything was set right. And now then again, same kind of things are there. So that will happen because so many layers of sanskar we have accumulated over, this association with the body and over many association with the body. But now we have a tool where through which at least this moment I can handle, right? This moment I know that this feeling of relationship, harmony and coexistence is what is natural to me. And therefore I can work to ensure that I have that feeling of relationship, harmony and coexistence and not otherwise. So if because of any sanskar, anything else crops in, then I can see it and evaluate it, and next moment I can get rid of it. So that sanskar will not remain powerful for a long. Okay. So till I am able to observe and evaluate, it will be there and create the bad effects. But the moment I am able to see it and evaluate it, I can get rid of it. So you can see, even now when you are going through this process, previously, if there was a feeling of opposition for someone, it would last for days, right? For months. Now there is a feeling of opposition, and next moment you are able to see it, or next 1 hour you are able to see it and you are able to evaluate it. You get rid of it, right? So what was taking days and months now can be settled down in 1 hour or in few minutes or few seconds, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So the days of unhappiness has been now, reduced.
Yes, sir. It has reduced to hours and now it is reducing to moments. That is the
Yes.
awareness that you can see. But
But
yes, sir, like, sir, I mean, when we are connected to the content, when we are aware, it's really helping us, sir. But we again are not aware many moments. So those moments when we are not aware is actually creating trouble for our own self.
yes, yes, that is true. So the answer is very simple. You have to be aware every moment. So,
So it is very simple, but yeah, to validate and experience it, yeah, it is taking time.
it's difficult. The answer is simple but difficult to practice.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. So
Sir,
I can
yeah.
move to the next question. Rajulji was making some observation. Yes, Rajulji, he wanted me to explore on something more.
Yes, Ganesh-ji, the interesting thing in this team is that we can see the upheavals in the sanskars,
Yeah.
and in spite of so many upheavals, the
Yes.
the team is still together. It is.
Yes.
I mean, that doesn't mean that it will become some sort of um, easy task, but still people are able to work on their sanskars. They're able to
Yes.
see that there will be upheavals.
Yes.
But with the support, instead of getting, totally demoralized, they are able to come back and sort of work on it. This in
True.
spite of many upheavals. That's what I wanted to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And slowly, there is this trust on oneself and trust on others, with whom we are working.
Yes.
That trust is playing a very significant role.
Yes.
Trust on oneself first, and then trust on the other.
Yes. I mean, unless I can see my own natural acceptance, I cannot trust anybody else.
Yes, very
So
true.
Trusting is basically being able to see my own natural acceptance and being able to see my own competence.
Yeah.
And then it is a sort of a natural thing to see that the other is like me. So I become more tolerant and all that, it is not only tolerant, but uh, I become supportive that, okay, fine, this situation is there. Let us see how we can be of help to each other rather than just sort of, rejecting and condemning and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is what I was saying, that first we have to make sure that, even when we are not agreeing to somebody's opinion or action,
Yeah.
first let us see whether we have the feeling of relationship for him or not. That we have to ensure.
No, I mean, not only relationship for that particular person, but do I have the feeling of relationship in me at all?
Yes.
If it is there, then it will be for more people. But even if it is seen for one person, that is good.
Yes.
Yeah. And one more thing that you said in the morning session thing was that we are all connected. That question was about the person who had trouble with some official, that unless we are participating in the development of the society,
Yeah.
these sort of things will continue. So samajikta wala jo part tha na, that is very quite important, that we are all in it, and sort of unless we are making effort for the whole society, things will not improve. Rather, they will become worse and worse because we are going into our shell, condemning others, and that the
Yes.
system is bad or something. And then we keep withdrawing into our own shell, keep thinking that we are special, and we keep we become more and more isolated.
Yeah. Particularly this, our experience that, uh, some 20 years back, less than 20 years, some 16, 17 years back, uh, when we started this process with the universities, uh, it seemed so difficult. It appeared as if the teachers are not interested. The administration people are not interested in it at all. Today, we have so much of response, from the colleges and now also from the schools.
Yes.
Right. So now we realize that they want it, they want something of this kind, but they do not have this clarity that such things are possible, and it is feasible. So when they find that it is possible and it is feasible and it can be done, they come and, come forward and they are willing to take the responsibility.
Yes.
Like this school education in Madhya Pradesh, right? It came on their own initiative. The Secretary of Education of Madhya Pradesh in 2022, she has two daughters, and they were studying in a school called Billabong School of Bhopal. And she noticed that the behavior of these two daughters was quite, improving. And then she went to the school and asked, what is the matter, and this owner of the school told that, some few years back we had two workshops of this UHV for their teachers, and that has made, so much of difference in the behavior of the teacher, which is slowly reflecting in the behavior of the students. And then she wanted to start it in the schools of Madhya Pradesh. And that's how this whole thing started. And now some 3,000 schools in Madhya Pradesh are conducting this. Okay.
Yeah.
So things happen like that. Because people
Now,
want to.
in Bhutan also, they are very much interested in the schools over there.
Yes.
So very interesting. The expectation, no, when people who are going to teach this, they are placed in the class, the students expect that they become perfect right on day one. So that makes a big, I mean, it can be motivating for the person, but it also puts a lot of pressure on them.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
But then we should clarify that in the beginning that we are in the process of exploration, self-exploration, and we want you to join us.
Yeah, but sometimes they expect that
Yes,
they,
true.
they will be perfect, and if they're anything
They,
less than
they
that,
don't
then
they don't take you as the co-explorer, they take you as the teacher.
yes, that is true.
So you have to slowly convince them, make them see that you are a co-explorer and not just the teacher.
Yeah, but all these students are very helpful for the teacher also, in the sense that
Yes, they will set the teacher right.
they right. So whether it is by co-explorer or whether it is by any other means, they are reminding them. So it is good. The process is quite
Yeah.
nice. There was one also question that people, don't stay angry or they don't stay very elated for a long time. Why is that? I don't know if you already answered that question.
No, I have not answered. I have not even read that question.
That is very interesting. And I was thinking that, there is a natural state.
Yes.
So whether it is above that state or below that state, you will come to natural state by nature. There is that force of nature, or there is
Yes.
that niyati that you will come to that state this way or
Yeah.
that.
The feeling of anger is not natural.
Yeah,
You cannot remain there for a long time.
yeah,
And as long as you are there, you are dissipating your energy and you are
yeah.
unhappy within. True.
And similarly, if you are very excited, also same thing happens, that
Yes.
you come back to the normal state at some point in time.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was that question was there. Soumyaji might have sort of seen that. If you have seen it, you can read it out actually.
Jiva, I think I saw that question.
Yeah.
I will read. I will just check.
Yeah. And whoever had asked that question, he or she might have more questions. So we still have few minutes. So have you finished the questions? I mean, have the questions completed?
No, there are many of them.
Oh, okay. I'll stop then.
No, it's okay.
So can we go to the next question? By that time, I will just look for that question.
Yes.
Yes. So the next question is by Deepa Didi. What may be my program in making my close relative understand about her rude behavior? She is not aware about her rude behavior and I didn't discuss it with her, to another close relative of mine without affecting the harmony in our relationship. We have Deepa Didi.
But we have skipped one question now. There was one question just above this.
Oh, sorry, sir. Yes, sir. During understanding relationship and to live with the feeling of relationship, when the other is not reciprocating without any hard feelings, I am able to respond with natural acceptance, giving space for them. In this context, people around me think I am with ego, I don't care about the feeling of the other, and I am adamant. Is this a natural process during self exploration, or is it my assumption thinking the other is true, hiding my feelings?
I feel that if you are really responding to the other, okay, with your natural acceptance, giving space for them, for the other, uh, I don't think that people will think that, you have the ego and you don't care about the feeling of the other and you are adamant. I think we should look at it, something is going wrong. Uh, because, so this question, is this a natural process during self-exploration? The answer is no. Or is it my assumption, thinking the other is true, hiding my feelings? Now, what is the meaning of this? Thinking the other is true, hiding my feeling. Vijayshri, you are there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Didi, you can unmute. Yes.
What is the
Ji,
last sentence?
Bhaiya, the question was that, like, it is my assumption that I think I am hiding the feelings, and in the other way, the other person is true that they are having the thought that I am with a
Yeah,
person of ego.
yeah. True, true, true. I think that's the most likely thing, that somewhere you have reaction within, okay, and you are not expressing it. That's the mean, right?
Yes,
That's what.
Bhaiya. Yeah.
Yeah. This is quite likely. This is quite likely that you have the reaction within, but you are not expressing it outside. Because if I don't have that reaction and if I have the feeling of relationship, my behavior with the other person is going to be smooth. The other may respond or may not respond to it, right? He may even react to it. But as far as I am concerned, my behavior will always be very, smooth. So this interpretation of the other, that I am with ego and I don't care, that should not come. I mean, this is possible that when I'm not responding to the other, even if the other is shouting at me with my feeling of relationship for him, I'm not reacting to it or what not, answering back. At that moment of, excitement, he might take it otherwise and shout back. That is possible. But, if I continue with my behavior with the right feeling, he will calm down. And particularly the people who are around, uh, you know, can see this point. They can see. That person who is directly involved may not be able to see because of his, excited state of being. And if I continue with that right feeling and the right behavior, he will slowly calm down. It may take little time for him, which is fine. And in the meantime, he can interpret that, I'm not responding to him, and therefore I'm egoist. And, I don't care about him, about this feeling. So this person in front can think like that for the time being. Okay. But then, as far as any independent observer is concerned, he will not take it that way. This person may take it for the time being. And if I continue with my right feeling and behavior, at least I am in a state of harmony and happiness. And in due course of time, the other person will also be able to see this point. But yes, it may take time. It may take time.
Got it, Bhaiya. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we can come to Deepa's discussion. what may be my program in making my close relative understand about true rude behavior to another close relative of mine without affecting the harmony. Yeah, regarding this third question in this slide, uh, what I feel is that, the major issue that I have to work for in this case is to creating that feeling of assurance in the other person, right? Because unless he feels assured of me and he wants my suggestion, okay, or wants to share with me, if I go on giving the advice to the other may not listen. Okay. It might even, he or she might even react. So if somebody is rude to someone else and is not aware of it, okay, and if I want to draw his attention or her attention towards it, okay, first thing I have to do is to, you know, ensure this assurance in relationship with the other person. And if that other person feels assured in my relationship with with him or her, and that creates the space, for the other person to share with me and has the willingness to listen to my, advice. I think till then we should work for ensuring, or making sure that there is an assurance in our relationship, uh, and not start with trying to correct the other. Because if you try doing that, it is likely to create problem in the relationship. So that acceptance, has to be there in relationship first. Then only this transaction will be meaningful. Then only when I draw the attention of the other, he or she is willing to take it. And our experience has been that, once that feeling of assurance comes in relationship, then this can be a very fast process. Okay. The other person is willing to listen. The other person will start inviting your opinion. Okay. Will seek for your guidance. So I think that situation should come first, and we should work for that situation. So rather than trying to mention about the rude behavior and trying to correct it, we have to ensure, you know, that being in relationship with the other, so that the other feels assured of me and is willing to share, willing to listen. Till then, I think we have to work for ensuring this fulfillment in relationship with the other. Unless it is something very urgent. Okay. If it is something very urgent, then you may have to, draw the attention of the other. Because if it can cause some major damage, then with all, kind of qualifications, you can mention to the other that not that I want to hurt you, but this is something which is going to be very hurting for others. So I want to draw your attention. But unless that kind of emergency is there, we have time, we can take time and, work on our relationship with the other, creating that assurance, that trust. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you, Ganesh-ji.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, can we go to the next question?
Yeah, this last question, yes, interesting question. We have discussed this so many times, but it is worth discussing again. That, kindly help in understanding the impact of one unit on the other unit and mutual fulfillment through the space. I would like to understand reflection or mutual fulfillment happening in units. So this is interesting, if you look at this whole existence and if you look at the nature, look at the units in nature, then you find that this whole existence is in coexistence. And this coexistence is in terms of the units in space, the units submerged in space. And this is very interesting that if you look at these units in space, every unit in space is related to every other unit in space, right? However far they may be. So, for example, if you look at the sun, okay, the sun is so far away from the earth, so far away from your body. So, this one unit being related to the other unit, okay, and therefore the impact of one unit on the other unit, okay, can be seen. And all this effect or impact is there in coexistence in space. So one way to see could be that we have the space, and in space there is one unit like sun. There is another unit like earth or my body. Okay. And through space, the one unit is related to the another unit. The effect of one unit is reaching to the other unit. That recognition of relationship and fulfillment of relationship between two units is taking place in space. So this is an interesting, fundamental phenomena that is taking place, that the earth is in space, it is self-organized in space, it is energized in space, and it is recognizing its relationship with the sun and going around the sun. All this is happening by virtue of being in space, being in coexistence in space, without us doing anything. So this coexistence is always there. This coexistence of the units in space is always there. It is ever present. It is ever existing, ever effective. And it is happening, It is happening by way of coexistence. Whether you do something for it or you don't do something for it. And if you look at the whole nature, that's how all this, uh, so much variety of things in nature, the way they are growing, the way they are multiplying, they are flourishing. All this is taking place by way of this mutual relationship and mutual fulfillment, which is there by virtue of the coexistence of units in space. If only we understand that all this is happening, the material order, the physical order, the bio order, the animal order, and the human order, all of them are there, and they are related to each other in a mutually fulfilling manner. Then we can understand this rule of relationship, the rule of harmony, the rule of coexistence, which is already there in existence. And that is how the existence is, expressing itself in the form of coexistence, in the form of this variety of nature. So if we can understand this relationship, harmony and coexistence, which is there in existence by way of coexistence, then we will have an acceptance for it, acceptance for this relationship, harmony and coexistence. And that acceptance will become the sanskar for us. And if we have this as sanskar, then on the basis of this sanskar, every time I decide for a feeling, I will decide for this feeling of relationship, harmony and coexistence. And that's how I can ensure being in a state of harmony and happiness within. So this is what is there, this coexistence, this relationship, this mutual fulfillment is there and taking place, everywhere. All that we need to do is to understand it, okay? And then be with it. Understand it, accept it, and be with it. So that is our role as human being, isn't it? Is that fine, Soumya ji?
Yes, sir. I think it is taking a lot of time. I think my sanskars are like that, so I need to really work on it.
Yeah. So my laptop's battery is now getting exhausted. The time is also up, but we could have kind of gone on for some more time. So we'll continue till this battery goes off. Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, can we have your comments on one particular slide, if it is okay with you, sir, today?
Yeah.
Yes, one. Just give me few seconds. Sir, is the slide visible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We would like to hear your comments on this, sir.
Yeah. This is the description about how we kind of go about ensuring happiness for ourselves. Okay. So the core of it is that what is called as calm. Calm means I think that I can get happiness from some favorable condition outside. This favorable condition can be in terms of getting the favorable sensation from outside through the senses, or getting the feeling from the other. So if this is what we consider as the source of happiness, and if we are trying to ensure the continuity of happiness through this, then we are doomed, right? So these are called as the, vikar. These are the wrong ways of going about ensuring continuity of happiness. And the foundation of this going wrong is that you start thinking that you can get some favorable condition from outside and that can become the source of your happiness. So you think that if you make a good house and you have an air-conditioned room okay, where the temperature is maintained at 21 degrees centigrade, you will derive continuity of happiness out of it. So, yes, if you have 21 degrees centigrade, it may be comfortable for the body. Okay. But if you are sitting with someone with whom you have a feeling of opposition, then irregardless of what is the temperature of the air conditioner, right, you will get into unhappiness. So this very process of getting continuity of happiness from favorable conditions outside is not going to work for continuity of happiness. So this calm is considered to be the most difficult thing, or the very basis of going wrong. So that is what is said, that trying to get continuity of happiness through fulfillment of some expectation. Now there are two possibilities. One is that this expectation is fulfilled, right? Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Soumya-ji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible now, sir.
Yeah, my laptop is not working, but I've connected through the phone, and I'll try to complete this if possible, or we'll take it next time.
Yes, sir.
So if this calm is fulfilled, if this expectation is fulfilled, and you have this temporary, happiness, then it's not that it is over. Now you want to have it again and again. That is called love, the greed, right? And if you get it again and again, you get, in kind of, attached to it, called moha. And if you continue to get it more, then you almost get addicted to it. So you become mad. You are obsessed. So these four: calm, leading to love, leading to moha, and leading to mad. On the other hand, if this is not met out, if this expectation is not fulfilled, then you have this anger, right? Krodh for the situation or for the person because of which there is obstacle. And if this obstacle remains there for a long time, and creates unfavorable condition for you, you may even decide to harm the other. That is called matsarya. So these 6 vikar or 6 ripu. Ripu means enemies. So these are the 6 enemies to your happiness, to the development of yourself. So calm is there, love is there, moha is there, and mad is there. This is one set. And the other, and then trying to harm the other. So calm, krodh, mad, moha, lobh, or matsarya. These are supposed to be the 6 vikaras or 6 enemies of the human being. So that is what it says in this whole slide. But we can discuss this in more detail sometime, There are a lot of these examples and all to be said in this. But I've just briefly mentioned.
Yes, sir. I think in the next session, maybe we can start with this.
So with that, I think we can call it a day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for such an enriching session.
Yes,
And,
Soumya-ji.
sir, am I audible? Am I audible?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
You are audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for such an enriching experience. And we are looking forward to having your session in the coming month
Hello.
also. Bhaiya, am I audible?
Soumya-ji, can we call it a day?
You
Yes,
are
sir.
audible, Soumya-ji. One
Namaste.
suggestion
Yes.
from my side is to collect the questions a little, well in advance, and the questions that are persisting in our minds, those kind of questions would be nice, and particularly those questions which are related to our life. So our major, I would say, where we are right now is, many of us are living at the level of expectation, and we have to go all the way to living at the with right completeness of right understanding. So in that journey, these sessions are very useful. So if we can collect the questions which are really related to our life and which are persisting for a long time, those kind of questions would be very useful for us to uh, collect, and then we can request Ganesh-ji for a response.
Ji bhaiya, ji bhaiya. We will do it, a little earlier, and we will share the questions so that we can plan it for the next month.
And I must congratulate your group for being consistent and taking it up so diligently, and you're also documenting the answers so we can then share it with everyone. That will be very nice. Thank you very much.
Ji bhaiya. Thank you so much, sir. And we will want to hear more about this particular slide. So maybe next time we can have this discussion and then go to the questions. Thank you very much, sir. Gratitude from the entire team for spending 2 hours of time with each one of us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And thank you. Namaste to all.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.